Python is popular because it is simple, easy to read or write or learn, and because of its concise code. For example, let's try to print a simple welcome statement in Java, C and Python. If you take an example of printing a welcome statement in Java, this is how it looks. We have to give the public class welcome, and inside the curly braces write a main method and try to print the welcome to Java programming statement using system.out.println. So if you look at here, this is not plain English. We have special keywords in the program like public, class, void, static, etc. And we have the main method and curly braces, etc. and save the file as welcome.java. So that is the same name as the name of the class that has the main method, and we have to compile the program and run it. You need to install Java on your machine to do this. Using javac command, we can compile the program, that is javac welcome.java, and using the Java command, we can run the program, that is Java welcome. If you take the same example of trying to print a welcome statement in C programming, this is how it looks. So you have to include the library and write the main method and save the file and compile and run the program. Now let's see the same in Python. So this is the single line of code. Using the print function, we can print the string welcome to Python programming. We already saw this demo of trying to print a string welcome to Python programming using the print function. So right click and click run welcome. So you can see welcome to Python programming. So this is just one line of code. We can save the file as any name. It can be welcome.py or test.py. So .py is the extension, so that means it's a Python file. So we are not required to write several lines of code unlike other programming languages like Java or C. So we don't have a semicolon or curly braces, etc. We are writing concise code. We do not need to compile a Python program explicitly. So internally Python interpreter will take care of it. That is, Python is an interpreted programming language, so we can execute directly. Interpreter means converting the code into machine understandable language. Python virtual machine will take care of compiling and syntax checking as well. So in case of Java, after compiling, .class file is generated. For Python, no separate file got generated. The Python interpreter will take care of it. So compiler is to do the syntax checking and interpreter is to run or execute the code or program. We have both compiler and interpreter in case of Java, whereas we only have interpreter in case of Python. Now let's see another example of why Python is simple. Now let's try to print sum of two numbers in Java, C and Python. If you take in Java, we have two numbers, num1 and num2. These two are integer numbers, so we have to declare the variables, assign the values, that is num1 is equal to 5, num2 is equal to 10, and trying to print the sum using system.out.println num1 plus num2. So throughout its lifetime, the type is integer only for both num1 and num2. We cannot assign anything other than an integer variable. So similarly, this is how we write in C programming language. And now in Python, here num1 and num2 are integer variables, but there is no declaration. We are not declaring num1 and num2 as integers here. So we don't have to declare data type explicitly, whereas in Java or C language, we should declare the data type explicitly, otherwise we get a compile time error. So Java and C, we need to declare the data type explicitly. So such type of programming languages are called statically typed programming languages. So whereas in Python, we have the data types concept, but we are not required to declare the data type explicitly. Based on the value assigned to the variable, the type will be auto considered. Such type of programming language is called dynamically typed programming languages. For example, Python, JavaScript, shell script, etc. All these are dynamically typed programming languages. So now let's see the demo. Let me create a file and name it sum of two numbers. So this program demonstrates the sum of two numbers. Num1 is equal to 5 and num2 is equal to 15. Print num1 plus num2. So now let's save by using Ctrl S. Let's try to right click, run sum of two numbers. So now we can see 5 plus 15 is 20. Now let's see the data type of num1. So we can find the data type of a variable using the type function. Ctrl S and run the program. So now you can see the data type of num1 as integer. So to know the type of a variable, we can use the type function. So now let's see another example of why Python is simple. So this is an example of how to use a ternary operator in Java and in Python. So all we are trying to do here is num1 is equal to 5 and num2 is equal to 15. If num1 less than num2, then print hello, otherwise print hi. So this is how we write in Java. If you take in Python, we are assigning 5 and 15 to num1 and num2, and the result hello if num1 less than num2, else hi, and we are trying to print the result using the print function. So if you compare both Java and Python, the ternary operator code is easy to understand in Python than in Java. So we are assigning the values num1 and num2 separately in Java, whereas in Python we can assign them in one line. So we cannot write this way in any other programming languages, that is either C or Java, and semicolon at the end of the line is optional in Python and it is mandatory in Java. So now let's see the demo. So let me create a Python file and let's name it ternary operator, and now let's write the comment. This program demonstrates why Python is simple, easy to read or write using ternary operator. Now let's declare two variables, num1 is equal to 5 and num2 is equal to 15. We can also combine the above two lines into one line as num1 comma num2 is equal to 5 comma 15, and let's comment these two lines. And now result is equal to hello if num1 less than num2, else hi. Now let's try to print the result. Control S to save the file and right click, run ternary operator. So now you can see hello is printed in the console because num1, that is 5 less than 15, this condition is true, so that is why we are printing hello. If num1 less than num2, if this condition is false, then it will print hi. So this is how you can use the ternary operator in Python. So that's why Python is simple, easy to read or write, and because of its concise code. Alright, see you in the next lecture.